converting fractions to percentages 4 different methods, depending on the fraction that you start with. It always works to divide numerator by denominator to get a decimal value, then convert to a percentage. However, not every fraction requires this. Knowing a few more techniques will make you a more flexible problem solver. We're going to look at 4 different ways to convert fractions to their percentage forms, and depending on what kind of a fraction you have to start with, there are a few different methods you can use. The first thing you should look for is a fraction that has a denominator of 100, because percentage really means that you're measuring out of 100 anyway, and so something that already has the 100 in place is practically done. You can just read it. That would be the process for this one. And I just write that down. Read it. Already out of 100. A little wild there with my F. 59 out of 100 is the same thing as 59%. The next technique that you would look for is examine all of your denominators and look for denominators that work nicely with 100, something that can be built all the way up to 100 very easily. 9 out of 20 will work for that one because 20, when you multiply it by 5, will get you to 100. So we're going to build up to something out of 100. 20 times 5 gets the job done. Whatever you do to the denominator, you need to do to the numerator. So 9 times 5 is 45. Now you have a fraction measured out of 100, so 45 out of 100 is the same thing as 45%. So then the next technique that you would look for would be looking for a fraction that could be reduced a little bit and then built up to something out of 100. If I look at these fractions here toward the bottom of the page, that are left over, 7/9 doesn't reduce to lowest terms, or it's already in lowest terms, excuse me. 6 out of 75 though can be reduced a little bit, and both of those are divisible by 3, so let's do that. If you divide the top and the bottom by 3, you'll end up with 2 25ths. And then notice that 25 works really nicely with 100, which is our goal for percentages. 25 times 4 will get you to 100. Whatever you do to the bottom, you need to do to the top. So 2 times 4 will get you to 8. 8 out of 100 means the same thing as 6 out of 75. It just has a different look. Since it's measuring 8 out of 100, it's 8%. So for this one, you reduce a little bit first and then build up to something out of 100. The last technique will work on 7/9. Notice that 7/9 couldn't be reduced to lowest terms because it's already in lowest terms. 9 doesn't work nicely with 100, so that technique wasn't going to work. But you could grab a calculator or actually do longhand division. Keep in mind that 7/9 really means 7 divided by 9. And if you do 7 divided by 9, either longhand or with a calculator, you'll get 0.7777, on and on. And then you'll take your decimal point and you'll move it 2 places to the right to get your percentage. And so you'd end up with 77.7777%. Or you can round it a little bit, maybe call it 77.8%. Watch your instructions on how you should be rounding.